So if you've been working towards your calisthenic skills and you're still struggling to work on your balance, maybe it's been a couple of months, maybe even years, I'm going to help you in understanding how to create balance in the handstand. So I've had the Kaizen movement for the last 4 or 5 years, and I've helped so many people work from the wall towards the middle of the room so they can start to free balance. So I'm going to show you exactly what to do. Let's go. Okay, so the first problem that I see is when people are learning how to do a handstand, they're just kind of sending it, and they're not really spending enough time in balance. So they just keep going for it, keep going for it. Oh, look, I'm doing a handstand. But you're kind of tricking yourself. You're not actually balancing at that point. The other thing is maybe you're using the wall, and you should be. But if you're using the wall, what can happen is you're just falling too often. So you're getting a tiny little bit of balance, and then you're away. So you just keep repeating this, and you're not actually, again, like accumulating time in balance. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I think there's 3 prerequisites that you need in order to learn how to balance and to safely do it against the wall. The first one is that you have to be strong enough. So the first one is actually just going up into a chest to wall position. So with this, you want to get as close to the wall as you can and tuck the tailbone and push nice and hard through the shoulders and hold this position. Cool? At the beginning, you might want to be a little bit further away from the wall because you might not be confident enough to get so close. We'd look for like 30 to 40 seconds in that position. Cool? Once you have that, you can move on to the next prerequisite. So the next prerequisite is doing back to wall kick-ups. Cool? So can you safely do that? At the beginning, this can be very daunting for people. So what I like them to do is to use as much momentum as possible. So I'll take a step forwards, I'll put the hands down on the floor, and at the same time I push the shoulders and I'll kick. Cool? Now as I do that, I'm also going to leave this knee at 90 degrees. So I go here, and I just want to see if I can get that heel to touch. Cool? So I'm going to take a step, kick, push, and get the heel to touch. Kick, push, get the heel to touch. The reason I have this knee at 90 degrees is if I have it straight, this can happen. And then you might not be strong enough to support yourself there. Cool? So once you do feel confident with that heel touching, then you can start to straighten the leg. And then you should start to feel a bit more confident with that. Just use as much momentum as you need in order to do the thing. Learning to fall. Maybe a bit further away from the wall. And then the third one is So for the prerequisites, we've got a chest to wall hold, we've got back to wall kick-ups, and we've got learning how to fall. So if you're not feeling confident with those exercises just yet, don't worry about it. Flip over to my YouTube channel, and you can find the instructionals on those exercises. Cool. So with balance, the way that I'm able to balance in a handstand is because my center of mass is over my base of support. So my base of support is my hands, and the center of mass sits somewhere between my navel and my hips. Cool? So I want the center of mass to be over the base for it to be a lot easier to balance, right? The base does the balancing. Cool? So my hands are doing the balancing. So the weight is oscillating between basically the fingertips towards the base of the palm. So it's just going like that. So it's a forwards, backwards movement through the hands. So if you have a look at the hands here, you can see how they're creating that movement, right? I'm keeping the weight moving between the fingertips and the base. So that's what you guys need to learn to do. So the way that you're going to learn how to balance is through this exercise, right? So it's a back to wall balance. So with this, I'm going to go for my kick up. And in this position, I want to push my fingertips hard into the floor. as I push hard into the floor with the fingertips, the heels become light. I can relax the fingertips and then go back. So I push, comes off, and then relax. Push, comes off, then relax. Cool? So keep doing reps like that and keep learning how that creates balance. So when we're learning to balance, like if you look at the foot, you can see how the foot does all the balance, right? Cool. So again, now your hands are doing all the balancing. We want to keep as much pressure as we can in the fingertips. So we're in an overbalanced position with the center of mass going over a little bit more. So we're always pushing into the fingertips. As soon as there's pressure here against the base of the hand, it becomes really difficult to balance in. So keep pressure here the whole time. So what I want you to think about is, whilst you're in this position, you're in like a Michael Jackson position, right? So you're leaning forwards. These are the feet, these are the hands, and there's pressure in the toes here, like there'll be pressure in the fingertips. And you're just holding on, holding on. As soon as there's pressure that goes back, then it's too hard to balance back here, but we can stay in this position pretty easy. Cool? So think about that when you're in that back to wall handstand. So in terms of progressions, you've got literally just doing small reps, just pushing your fingertips into the floor, make the heels light, go back to the wall. Cool? So push the fingertips into the wall, make the heels light, relax the fingertips, go back. So 1 second at the beginning, 1 second hold back. Next you'll go in for 3-second holds. Cool? Next 5-second holds. If you can do that, aim for a 10-second hold. Cool? So that's literally just the progression of it. So start with small reps and increase from there. So common mistakes when looking at this back to wall handstand. If you come to the side, you'll see the shoulders. So instead of people using their fingertips to balance, what they'll do is they'll just move their shoulders away from the wall, and then there's weight here. It does move your center of mass off the wall, but it just completely pulls your feet off. So they'll just start opening up the shoulders, moving their armpits away from the wall, and then they fall. Because all their weight is going here and they're tricking themselves. They're not really balancing. They're just moving their shoulders around. So that's the first mistake. So second mistake in this exercise is people will just bounce their feet off the wall. Cool? So that, again, they're not focusing on the hands that actually do all the balance. They're just trying to move their feet round and bounce off. When they do that, commonly they're just going to keep falling because, again, you're not using what's required to actually balance. You're tricking yourself. So if I was to do a handstand, I'm not ever using my feet to help me balance. Cool? So don't start as a beginner using your feet to help you balance. It's not the right thing to do, and it's not really going to lead you anywhere. Cool? So focus on the hands. So in terms of reps, what we're looking for is actually just to accumulate time being upside down. So particularly if you're a beginner, you just need to get strong. So let's aim for like 30 to 40 seconds of being upside down and just trying to make your heels light for those 1-second holds. Eventually, you'll soon progress towards 60 seconds. And then when you're at the 60 seconds mark, maybe we can see about going for those 3 to 5-second holds in that balance position. So the goal here is to basically look at accumulating time in balance, right? So at the beginning, we're accumulating time being upside down so we can get strong. Then we're accumulating time in balance, right? Because that's where we're learning the skill. Okay, so then we're looking at sets. So sets, we're looking at 2 to 3 per session. Again, as long as you're getting that time upside down and accumulating time in balance, then we're good. Frequency, I'd say 2 to 3 times per week as well. And this can be also combined with such exercises as chest to wall tuck and also just chest to wall holds. That could just be like a little split screen to the side. Cool, so thank you for watching, guys. Hopefully this will help you with understanding how to balance and to progress your handstand journey away from the wall towards the middle of the room. So yeah, please feel free to subscribe and share the video if you did find it helpful, and yeah, keep up to date with more useful calisthenics content. I'll catch you guys soon. Peace.